Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. The boys are in person. The National League Wildcard, 9 teams separated by 2 games. Me and Trevor Plouffe separated by our fists. Big app. Big app. Summer's here.
Just touch me.
A lot of Roman things in this room right now. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. I am Jake Storielli at Talkin Jake. Follow. BBD is producing his buns off. We are coming live from our warehouse. Go check out our YouTube warehouse games if you haven't. That's a lot of people's guilty pleasure. And speaking of guilty pleasures, it's Trevor Plouffe feeling the energy of the big city. The chain's been popping. The hair looks good.
I didn't mean to pop the chain.
Oh, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. How you doing, big guy?
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
You know, we love live episodes. It's great to touch you. Worried about my posture in this episode? Like,
Yeah.
it's tough.
No, it's
I'm
tough.
trying
You
to
gotta-
go up, but I don't think I can. I think I'm going to slouch, but that's going to be okay. We're doing this before anybody shows up at the warehouse, so it's nice. There's nobody here. In about an hour and a half, it's going to be filled with just young, vibrant, like the whole world in front of them. World is my oyster kids. And then I come and shut those dreams down.
Seems like you had an emotional night alone in the hotel room after seeing all the young kids yesterday.
38. I'm like, geez, guys.
It's tough. A lot of the kids were jazzed up to go out last night.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I was PB and jealous. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. I am ready to talk about my Yankees because they had another tough series with the Orioles.
I don't know how far we're gonna go into like the Yankees and stuff, but the Yankee fans are insane. The emotional highs and lows I've already seen this season. It's just like nothing else.
Yeah, it's you're not wrong. It's part of the beauty of it. It's part of the problem of it.
Yeah.
It's also the Yankees got off to a amazing start in 2022, if you remember, that they were compared to the 98 Yanks. Is this the best team ever?
Oh, my.
That 2022 team fell apart.
Yeah.
Last year, the Yankees missed the playoffs, the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they still have the best record, although the Orioles are a half game back.
I'd rather talk about Steven Kwan, for being honest.
Rich Homie Kwan, you might hear about him later in the episode as he's casually chasing 400. But the bigger thing, Trev, it's Friday in New Jersey. So it's a big National League episode.
Obviously, we start in the National League.
And man, I'll tell our good listeners this. If you know which team is going to win that final NL wildcard spot, I want to shake your hand. Because nobody knows. I want to believe in a team every week, and then I'm disappointed by them. I'm looking at you, Cardinals. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Marlins. Both on walk-offs. How devastated are you? Padres, I think they gained room in the standings, but we're going to save the standings for Trevor Plouffe.
Yes.
Let's get through the National League, and it's brought to you by Luke Combs. Yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, mostly his new album, but I mean, essentially this is from Luke himself. Do we consider him a friend now?
Until I have a Modelo with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually, I don't know if you want to talk about that later in the episode, but your other guy, there's some headlines yesterday on social media.
Who?
Luke Combs, Fathers and Sons, the new album from Luke Combs. It's available now. A first-of-its-kind album release, 12-track album, entirely live. If you know anything, Luke Combs live. I've been telling you, him, Tracy Chapman, Fast Car, listen to that bi-weekly. Luke Combs also has teamed up with MLB and T-Mobile to give you a chance to win Ultimate Doubleheader VIP Weekend Getaway. That's right. I don't want to tell you guys about this, but the winners get to fly to New York City, see the Yankees game on July 19th, and then head over to MetLife. I might have to talk to our people on this and just see, you know.
We're like, yeah. I want to have that beer with Luke.
I can head over to MetLife. There's a link in the description. Enter and win. Seems like a good thing to do. And go check out the new album, Fathers and Sons. Baseball guy, Luke Combs.
Yeah, big time.
Let's do some National League.
Please.
And we start out in beautiful Philadelphia as they take 2 out of 3 from those San Diego Padres. Christopher Sanchez, how tall? We're not sure. 6'9", 7 innings pitched, 1 earned. We'll call you however tall you want, big fella. Aaron Nola follows it up with a quality start as well. How about Castellanos with the walk-off? 4 for 5. Potential standout. You'll have to see later in the program. Our Padres and Matt Waldron, not just a knuckleballer. He's a pitcher, man. He's having a great year. Higgy, former Yankee great, has kicked into gear, along with our guy Jackson Merrill in that final game. Phillies take 2 out of 3. I gave this one a little tease in the intro. Cardinals drop 2 out of 3 from Miami. They win the first game. It's a sunny gray day. Mason Wynn with the 2-run homer in extra innings in the 12th to get the win. But then the next 2 days, your walk-off hitters tread. Vidal Brujan,
of course,
your guy.
Yeah. Former Ray.
And yes, and then my guy Otto Lopez with the walk-off in the 9th. Are the Marlins clicking at the right time? We're going to dive into that. Tim Anderson with a big hit. Gibby scratched to some back tightness.
I talked to him.
We'll check in on that later. Speaking of how's your struggle bus, the Giants and the Cubs played 3 baseball games. And the Cubs won a series after dropping the first game. They come back. They take down Logan Webb in the second. Justin Steele still waiting for his first win this year, but 6.2, 2 earned runs. And then Kyle Hendricks back in the rotation, 5.2, 1 earned run. Dan's Bay. Our guy Ian Happ, fingerprints all over this series. Playing a little hero ball, trying to play hero ball in that first game, but not enough. Colton Brewer with a save for the Cubs. Okay, sure. NL Central, I don't know how much breath I'm going to waste on these cats this year, but the Pittsburgh Pirates take 2 out of 3 from my Cincinnati Reds. And we had 5 every starting pitcher, so 6 starting pitchers went 6 innings. Of those 5, 2 earned runs or less. So, hey, maybe guys were twirling the pill or maybe nobody's hitting. I guess leave your scouting report in the comments. But Skeens, Lodolo, Falter, Green, and he's throwing a new pitch now, a little split change or something like that. Mitch Keller with a great outing. Brian Reynolds is hot for the Pirates. And remember David Bednar, Rowdy Tellez getting in front of the mics? He's figured it out. That's kind of how baseball works. He's been clean for them for a little while. Pirates take 2 out of 3. Check out where they are in the standings. And check out where the Arizona Diamondbacks are, because they take 2 out of 3 from the Nationals. I call this series the Dry Humpin' 500 series. Both teams got within a game, but they couldn't get there. Maybe next series. Slade Ciccone, huh? My guy, 6 shut piece. Ryan Nelson, 7 innings, 70 pitches. What was going on? Are people watching these games, or is it just the simulation? You know I'm watching my snakes. You know Trev's watching his nets. And our guy Jesse Winker's been hot lately. And hey, go vote for Ketel Marte for the All-Star game. Do we care? Yeah, we do care. This is our lives, people. And of course, we're doing the National League, so the Detroit Tigers.
Yep.
They get swept by the Atlanta Braves, who, hey now, 2-1 run, 2-1 games, so whoa. But then they blow him out on that final game. Austin Riley is starting to rake. Sean Murphy is starting to rake. And the Braves, they're starting to win some ball games. And the most controversial series of the weekend, Dodgers-Rockies. Dodgers take 3 out of 4. Did they, though? The check swing heard around the world.
Ask Jake Cave.
Jake Cave is mad, and I stand for Jake Cave. Dodgers take 3 out of 4. That is what happened in the beautiful National League. I mean,
when we get together, the rhythm is there. Dry humping, by the way, a little underrated. If I'm being honest.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Why don't you give me
if it stops there, not great. I do have the standings, Jake, and because it's a Friday in Jersey City, we start in the Central.
Would you
This
say
is the center of the universe?
Would you say I'm your backup quarterback?
Oh my gosh.
What are the standings?
That's a little too low right now. Look, in the Central, this is a mess. It's a mess. It's a
disaster,
mess,
bro.
Gosh. 44-31, your Milwaukee Brewers. Thank you for playing good baseball.
Yeah.
Thank you, Milwaukee. We like you. St. Louis, hey, you're 500, 37-37, 6.5 games back. The Pirates, 36-38. The Cubs, 36-39. The Reds, 35-39. Now, we knew this was going to be like a slog.
Yeah. Not like
but
this.
not like this.
Not like this.
This is like where Shrek lives, wherever that is, a bog.
Hey, donkey.
Yeah. Then we'll go out west.
Sure.
Because it's Friday in New Jersey. The Dodgers with a commanding 9-game lead. They're 47-30. They're not even playing good baseball, I feel like. They're okay.
Yeah.
Doing okay. They're surviving injuries, whatever. No other team is 500 in that division. San Diego Padres, you're 39-40. What? That's your team to talk about. You get frustrated with them. I don't. I just enjoy them. 39-40. The Arizona Diamondbacks were 37-38. The San Francisco Giants should be a good team. 36-40. And your Rocks, 26-49. 20 games out of first place in the NL West. And then we head to the NL East. The Phillies continuing to play. Good ball. 49-25. The Braves, you said, they've been winning all year, Pop. They have been.
They had a little funk there.
They just haven't been like themselves yet. The offense coming. 41-31. They're 7 games back. The Nats in third place in that division at 36-38. The Mets, 35-38. And then the Marlins, my goodness, 25-49. So you're actually a half game back of the Rockies. In that wild card, like you mentioned, Jake, Cincinnati at 35-39 is 1.5 games out of a wild card spot. Then you have the Giants, the Mets, the Cubs, the Nationals, and the Pirates, all within striking distance. Arizona, San Diego, and St. Louis have all the wild card spots as we speak today. And St. Louis is 500, and San Diego and Arizona are 1 game under 500. That is the state of National League baseball.
Incredible standings from New Jersey.
What is going on this year? Seriously.
No,
there's 4 teams over 500.
I think you're It's a great point, Trev. The Phillies, the Dodgers, who almost, I say the phrase too big to fail a lot. I think for those teams, like almost too big to fail.
Of course, you're a 1%er. Why wouldn't you say that? It's disgusting.
The Braves, who I did say, the Braves, finally it's starting to go. 10 games above 500, yes. on pace for a good year. Milwaukee just kind of laughs at their division. Genuinely.
It's insane what they're doing this
year.
I guess, is it insane when all the other teams are just not playing well, I guess?
We have some Brewer connects. People remember when Jimmy lost his hamstring on the field. Yeah. And we kind of laughed because the Brewers walk tall. The Brewers believe in what they do. And we kind of did a head tilt that we were like, what have you done, Brewers? A little bit. No offense, but a little offense. What are we? But then when you look at it, it's kind of they've been running that division for 7 years now, and they're going to win the no team is going to catch them.
I think what they've done and the Guardians have done, trying to think, there's another team that is playing the Red Sox.
Okay.
They're all taking advantage of the stolen base situation that we have going on, the disengagement rule. They're getting more athletic. They're going back to playing fundamental baseball. Who would have thought? And look what's happening.
Red Sox defense might argue that a little bit, but they're doing everything else.
They can play fine defense when they're all in the right spots. It was just because early on they were playing all over the field. That they're going to be okay.
Let's how about National League wildcard, because it is the conversation of the National League right now that if you can win 2 games and be in the wild card and a chance to make the World Series, which the Snakes did last year.
Okay.
Or if you lose 2 games, you could be the 3rd worst team in the National League, Marlins, Rockies, and you. Right now, as of today, it's the Reds. As of 2 days ago, it was the Cubs. of a tomorrow. It could be the Giants. Like, do you see anything right now? Because I think if we're being honest, because we're an on-pod.
Yeah, we try to be.
A lot of this is just going to get dictated by injuries and who gets the juice. Like,
I think so. There's a lot of the teams are even, in my opinion, and obviously the standings reflect that as well. If I'm trying to pick like teams that I think have something over the other teams, I think you could point to like Pittsburgh and their pitching staff. Like everyone sleeps on Billy Falter. Well, you got four dudes in that rotation. Plus, if they go make a move offensively, because they're not good offensively. If they go make a move and bring a bat or two in, like their fortunes change wildly. Like that's a very like it can be a dominant rotation. So I think they have a leg up. I think the Padres like still have probably the best roster out of all those teams. You know, some young guys doing their thing. I gotta imagine they're going to be in the wild card hunt come September when some of these other teams have fallen back. Like those are the two teams that I look at and I'm like, okay, like I can for sure see them in the hunt. And Pittsburgh has a caveat, but they have to go make some moves. Like they have something that stands out. The rest of the teams kind of just all blend together. I even think the Giants kind of stand out for me a little bit.
You like the Giants?
I do. And they just similar to the Padres, man. Like they just don't consistently win series.
No, the L3 in their column now.
It's interesting, man. It's just, and it seems like there's nothing blatantly wrong with the Giants, but you got to go out and win baseball games.
Yeah, we've talked some run differential on this show, and it usually water finds its level with run differential. Right now, the team that's been locked into the second wild card spot, the Cardinals, they have the third worst run differential in the National League.
There you go.
Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Reds, of the wild card teams, they have the best at +10. So again, not impressive, but yeah, I guess that's where the National League can salvage this but it's where I become nervous because if we're being honest, this slog is kind of tough. Like I like it for each individual baseball community that Arizona, Pittsburgh, Washington, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, that these teams are still engaged.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, they would not be.
Yes.
So I like that for baseball. I guess I hope the trade deadline brings juice, but I'm worried it's not because how many sellers are there? So where's the juice going to come from?
That's the interesting part of all of this is as we look at the standings and we're seeing them so close, a lot of these teams are going to say, well, we want to add, but there's so many teams all bunched up, so if we all just kind of stand pat, like we'll just see where the year ends up. The team that just pulls the trigger first, I think is going to have the biggest advantage. Because you have to decide right now. If you're talking, you're one of these 9 teams, whatever the heck it is.
Right.
You have to decide what kind of roster are we really? The Nationals, like, they have to decide, like, are we really in it this year? Like,
right.
Are we really going to go try to make the playoffs this year? Or are we going to cash in on some of these one-year guys? Because it's going to be a seller's market with all of these teams in contention. So you have to decide that, and you don't have to decide it now. It's only June 21st. You got a full month to decide what you're going to do. So maybe it'll play itself out. But I do believe the team that strikes first, get some victories because of it, will be better for it. But I think it's a tough decision for a lot of these teams. Like, and I do believe we are going to see a bunch of teams just say, well, we're not sellers, but we're not buyers either. Let's just write it out.
That's what I wouldn't love. But I do think most teams are going to do that. I'd honestly love to see, I guess, maybe this is the game we should play, is that the National League team, and expectations are what they are. Like, just because we expected a team to do this in the offseason doesn't mean blank. But, like, okay, Arizona went to the World Series last year, and they did big things in free agency, bigger than we thought.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're going to sell. They were also under 500 in August last year, made the World Series, so don't see them selling. San Diego, their chips are on the table. St. Louis could sell. Did they sell last year? They had to, right?
Like, sort of.
That
It's
team
not like
was
they
a
had a
mess.
ton of things to sell.
Yeah,
but
no,
Jay
they
Flair
did really.
went,
Yeah, they had their roster is kind of set. They got their young guys that have control. They brought in the starting pitchers.
So I guess here's my thing. The Nationals, we kind of thought they'd be sellers coming into the season, in the New York Mets. If those teams keep hanging around, which, hello, the Grimmets, different whole franchise right now.
Did you know who this guy was? Because I didn't.
Yeah, I knew Grimace. I mean, I didn't grow up with the guy, but I guess I did grow up with the guy.
Did you?
Kind of, yeah. He was a big deal at McDonald's for a while.
Isn't it like the 1970s, dude? You weren't alive.
He was in the mix, like him. McDonald's characters: Ronald McDonald, Hamburglar,
number one.
obviously.
I think he and Grimace are just always.
Grimace was in the mix.
I never saw Grimace.
Okay,
So I had
Maybe
no
that's an East Coast
idea
thing.
what this
Really?
was
Yeah.
until Chris Rose brought it to my attention. And I'm not like an anti-McDonald's guy. I am now, but like I grew up eating McDonald's. My grandparents would take me to McDonald's.
You told your passionate McDonald's. No, it's Trev. You told your story. You brought Teddy to his All-Star game. You picked up some McD's, kind of.
Sometimes you got to go in the morning,
right? And you said that McDonald's, one of the perks for years was the price. Like you'd walk away.
Dude, it was.
You said it was, dude. I talked to someone later that weekend, and they were like, "Bro, I went to McDanks
See,
the other day.
you guys
Got
were
$22," and I was like, "Damn." So I don't know. That's another thing.
How did we get there?
But yeah, I don't know. Like Cincinnati's interesting. The Giants are interesting if they have to sell. I don't know. And one or two things are going to sort themselves out in the next month, because that's what it is. It's the All-Star game.
But what if it's not? What if it's just like this? Because it seems like it's been like this all year long. So why do we expect it to change within the next 4 weeks? Like, what if one of these teams is going to go on a run here?
No, it's true.
And I did say the Giants don't have a glaring weakness, but their pitching hasn't been great. They've had injuries to the starting rotation. The bullpen hasn't been very good. It's each one of these teams has like an issue. Do they address it? Do they not address it? It's kind of like
should we do like a daddy issues episode one day? One of the midweeks, every team's daddy issues.
I don't really have daddy issues.
It's good.
I used to a little bit.
Okay. You smooth that over later in life?
Well, my parents got divorced when I was in high school.
Right. That's tough.
So I was like kind of becoming a man.
My parents got divorced. Sorry, BBD.
Yeah.
What?
His parents are happily together.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I wish you the best.
Yeah.
I became the man of the house
They
at
like each
14.
other a lot.
Jeez.
I used to say I was the man of the house at like 7, and that was a lie.
You were not.
Still not. Still not. Trev, of these series,
Yes.
I guess what do we think is of note? Because the NL discussion, we just kind of did it, and we're going to be doing that for a few more weeks. And again, I hope we're wrong, man. Insert your team here. I've been tough on the Cubbies. I hope they flip the script, and we're saying, wow, they went 14-5, and they're firmly in the playoffs. But zero of these teams have provided any of belief. Hey, and we should probably get ahead of this. I think it might be part of your award, but the Rickwood series is going on. It's technically a part of next week's game, so we'll be talking about it there too, and RIP Willie, but I don't know. There's some more coming on that later.
Okay.
God, like
Everything's kind of met in the National League to me. You're happy. The Braves swept a Tigers team that I don't really know how to feel about. I think they have some good pieces there, but I don't think they're necessarily in contention this year at all. I think they probably end up trading Jack Flaherty, who's having a nice start to the year. Good pieces, but I don't, I think the Braves should take a series from them, sweep it in the last game 7-0. The Dodgers series against Colorado, they had the one big comeback. They had the Teoscar swing. If you didn't see that, top of the 9th, Teoscar has a check swing, clearly goes. They say he doesn't go.
it's tough, man.
He would have struck out. Game over. Instead, he hits a 3-run home run. Jake Cave from right field starts going nuts as soon as the ball goes over his head. It was quite the scene, and the Dodgers end up taking 3 of 4 because of it. They have some issues of their own with their pitching staff, but Again, I'm not worried about him. They still have enough depth. Clayton Kershaw is doing his rehab starts. He looks pretty good.
Big fan of his beef.
Yeah, we like that. And then, look, Snakes are doing their thing. I think I got roasted a little bit by Snakes fans because I said I think they could be sellers this year because of the way that Corbin Carroll started and where they're at. And then, that's just not true because of what's happening in the National League. If this was a regular year, I think they would consider it. But it's not a regular year. It's a bunch of teams right there. So
that's where, you guys know your team better than us. It's the glass half full, glass half empty. Like, Snakes fans were kind of in a tough place. Just nothing was clicking. Nothing's happening. You can also spin that because we have, 90 more games left of this season? More or less? That, Jordan Montgomery hadn't been great for them. He put together a couple. Corbin Carroll had been awful for them.
Yep.
He's starting to put it together.
That will be huge, obviously.
Geraldo Perdomo is back. So I guess that's kind of where I started this conversation of just it feels like such a cop-out answer, but it feels like you hope the deadline is a cool thing. You hope, you and Jolly put on a show this midweek episode. I heard him throw the Luis Robert to the Pirates. If that happens, I'm on the Pirate train.
Yes.
I want that to pay off.
Yes.
They've called up their top prospects. They made a big trade. I want to root for them. I guess the only concern is, how much are injuries going to truly dictate this? Because we're talking about the ads, but a lot of it's the subtraction, too.
Stop talking about that.
I know. Jeez. Negative Nancy.
I know. Quickly.
Sure.
Giants, Cubs. I believe it was the first game. You talked about Happ trying to play hero ball. And then Tyro Estrada. Happ hit a 3-run homer to put the Cubs up, and then Tyro Estrada, I believe, hit a 3-run homer to put the Giants up. So that was a beautiful night for them. And then Kyle Hendricks with a nice start. He got removed from the rotation, started this game, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run. I like to see that. I didn't know Justice Steele had not gotten a win yet.
Yeah, he last 3 starts have been quality starts. Hasn't recorded a win through 10 starts this season. Dansby's been having a rough stretch. I mean, the Cubs in general have been having a rough stretch as he burps into the microphone. Their first 3-game series win since?
Tell me.
May 10th or 12th.
I know they've been struggling big time offensively to find their footing.
It's late June.
Yeah.
I've got a, you know what, Trev, when we're in the room together, it gets hot. It gets intense.
Okay.
I know I've said this before, but the MLB bullpen stuff has hit. Shout out to Colton Brewer, who gets the save. In the last game, he returns from the IL earlier this week. So many of these veteran vagabond bullpen guys are getting thrown into brutal situations. Just because arms are arms at this point. That's literally how front offices look at them. That the Yankees called up Anthony Mizowitz, who's been a up and down guy. And here he is pitching in a 1-run game, bases loaded. I don't know, just it doesn't feel right. It almost feels like there's a lot of guys, I don't want to say who don't feel a part of the team because that's rude, but they're treating these guys too much like vagabonds.
Just putting them anywhere?
In a lot of these games, those last 4 guys in the bullpen that are getting used, because if you use your good bullpen in one game, you got to use these other guys. That, I don't know, I guess it used to be part of your team's identity, and now it doesn't. It's almost like, oh, we're playing them now? Who do they got back there?
Okay. I could see that. I think a lot of times now, the way the teams are approaching is lanes, where, you biomechanically, pitch-wise data, you match up against this guy's bat plane. I'm being serious. This is what they do. So you're going to face this lane of hitters. So whether that is, and there still are guys that in the back end of a bullpen who are high leverage no matter what. Like they don't have lanes. They just go in when they need to put the fire out. But what you're talking about is a bunch of guys, they just try to match. They try to match with what part of the lineup is coming up. For the Cubs, I mean, that's been probably their biggest downfall this year, has been their bullpen. 24th in WHIP, 27th in walks per 9. So along with like a mid offense, I mean, that's how you're kind of end up where they're at. But yeah, it's very interesting how they approach not only back into the bullpen, but also, pinch hitters late in games, like who matches up with who. It is. It's gotten a little too far for me, but I'm not going to sit here and be the old man yelling at the clouds, even though
that's me.
I'm like getting to that point. I had something else to say, and then you just got me off my.
I'm sorry, man. Thing. I'm sorry. What do you think it was? If you had to guess,
I don't know.
Braves won 6 out of 7.
Yeah, they're
Austin Riley's hitting a lot.
That's good.
There's a little more on them coming up later.
Oh, Gibby, he said he's okay.
Gibby's okay. Thank God.
He just said that it was weird. Like he just went to start stretching, and he just couldn't like move his hip or something. I said, you're just getting old, bro.
That's called old.
Yeah.
Gibby had a case of the olds.
Yeah. But then he said, thank you for talking kindly about the Cardinals for once. And I said, you're welcome.
They've technically been in the playoff picture for like a week or two now, which not a lot of teams can say.
That was, kind of a wild series. Dylan Carlson, first game, throws the tying run out in the 12th inning to kind of seal the game. And then the Marlins have 2 walk-offs. Like, if you're the Cardinals, these are the series you got to win.
I know, and I guess that's what chaps my ass, Trev.
Oh, yeah.
If the Cardinals swept this, what would we be saying? They'd be like 2.5 games in the playoffs, playing a decent brand of baseball.
We'd be saying they're the 5th best team.
Now what are we going to look back
We'd be saying they're the 5th best team in the NL, and they are. They are at 37-37.
The Cardinals need their Marlins wins. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I'll say. I think my guy Jake Cronenworth walked it off last night, but we're not talking about that.
I know what you're talking about.
Because it didn't happen yet. Although I am wearing his hat that I don't want to say he bullied me into getting, but I bullied myself into getting.
You thought he was going to send you one, and instead you paid for it.
We're buddies. We're pals. You know what else? Have you heard about this Momentous, Trev?
I take Momentous.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going off the script.
Let's talk.
I have a lot of people comment on my body.
Okay.
More up than down lately.
Okay.
But the down's still leaking. But Momentous, creatine, omega-3, protein, that's kind of my sweet spot. Ensure that all of my bases are covered. These 3 supplements support nearly every aspect of my foundational health, from aiding cognitive function. Need a lot of help there. Reducing inflammation in muscle joints. Gibby. Don't need that.
That was mean.
I
thought you were going off script.
I was off script, and then I had to bring it back because I was gonna end up in a crazy spot. Hey, they are with 28 of the 30 MLB teams. I did have people get mad at me last time because I said 30 out of 32, and people were like, Jakey, that expansion happened yet? The Nashville team, the London team? What? Momentous is dedicated to working only with the best. From their collaboration with experts to their unparalleled commitment to only using the highest quality ingredients, there's a reason why the world's best athletes and Trevor Plouffe use and help develop Momentous products. So if you're like us, you want to take what the champions take. Go to livemomentous.com. Use code TALKIN, 20% off your first order. That's livemomentous.com with code TALKIN. There's a link in the description.
In my prime.
Right.
In my prime. Okay.
Beefcake.
Was I considered one of the greatest athletes in the world?
Technically, yes. Yeah.
Think about that for a sec.
We got into a little Jake Trev spat yesterday about if you were the best athlete to ever be in the warehouse.
I 100% am the greatest athletes ever stepped foot in this warehouse.
I mean, I think
including you, Jeff Passan.
Pavel has an argument.
No, he doesn't.
Darren Sammy.
No, he doesn't.
He's got you beat in a couple.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Darren Sammy. Maybe Darren Sammy.
Aaron Jones, American icon, killing it in the cricket. Those cricket guys got some resumes.
God, I mean, it's just a big sport.
It's a big sport.
All right, I played Team USA too, bro.
Our guy Luke
Good
Branson.
counter. Good counter.
Ooh, Team USA, Trev.
Yeah,
Okay.
a couple times. Who'd you say after that?
Our guy Luke Branson.
No, sorry, Luke.
Come on. I DM'd him.
Get into the American. Don't get into the American League.
Let's talk some American League baseball. It's Friday. And Trev, we're starting.
First one is ugly.
We're starting with our New York Yankees. That's good. I think we're starting with the Baltimore Orioles.
Yes.
Trev, times are high. Nestor 6 shut piece. And who's coming back? Garrett Cole? The Yanks? Oh, God. A fun comeback by the Yankees in Game 2, but it comes up short. They are rough in extra innings, and they're rough against the Orioles. Orioles are, 5-2 against the Yanks this year? They take the final game. What's that score say?
17-5.
We'll talk about that a little bit. Yankees fans in an interesting spot. Hey, here's two good teams all year.
Yes.
The Seattle Mariners and the Cleveland Guard Dogs played 3. And Chris Rose's Guardians. Was he partying last night?
A little bit, but then he got snake bit by the humidity. It was a rough night for Chris.
The Mariners won that first game behind Bryce Miller, the babyface killer, and J.P. Crawford was involved. Also, there's a fun Luke Raley and his dad have both been kicked out of Cleveland Guardians games. That's a fun fact in here. The Guard Dogs win the next 2 games because it's a Bibe, Tanner Bybee, 6 shut piece, 12 Ks. What?
Yeah.
Naylor, barely know her, 2 home runs. Stephen Kwan.
Yes. MVP?
Let's meme. Can we bring up the conversation about Stephen Kwan? MVP, I like that a lot. Will Brennan, which Cleveland Guardian lab rat are you? You hit 2 homers. Happy for you. Trev, speaking of, an AL rivalry? The Twins and the Rays? Couple playoff matchups, right?
Well, it was all about Rocco and Kevin Cash.
It starts with the managers. It finishes with the Rays in extra innings. If the Tampa Bay Rays are winning a ball game, Jose Siri went nuts. And go check out his throw to throw out your guy, Royce Lewis at third base. Cuts off the right fielder.
Ball hog.
A little bit, but if you make that play, that's why you get to be a ball hog. Rays take the final 2 in extras. Pablo Lopez? Might have to talk about that. He's been getting knocked around. Correa's still hitting. Does it mean anything for Tampa? Maybe. Little bit of Rays stock. We'll see. They take 2 out of 3. The Boston Red Sox, kid. W5 in the win column. They sweep the Blue Jays.
Yes.
People are asking questions in Toronto. Nick Pivetta, full pension, 7 innings. Brian Bayo with his first good start in a while. You might hear about Tyler O'Neill this episode. Haven't seen us in the same room. Seems like a momentous cat.
Yeah.
Rafael has put together a couple big games. Jaron Baba Duran. Red Sox get it done. Blue Jays. Oh, God. Speaking of if it's a seller's market. The Texas Rangers, they lose 2 out of 3 to the New York Mets. Rangers, where are you at? And the Grim Mets, I don't even know anymore. A blowout in the first game. They put up a 14-burger. They come back in the second game. Is Mark Vientos the answer? Alvarez, Lindor with big games. Texas salvages it on the last day. The Heen Dog has been twirling the pill really well his last 10 starts. Go check out where the Texas Rangers are in the standings. They won the World Series last year. Brewers, they take 2 out of 3 from the Angels, and that's obvious, even after dropping the first game. Here's Tobias Myers and Freddie Peralta. How's your 0 runs scored off both starting pitchers? That's a little bit of Brewers ball, and then sure, give me some free licks, give me some Yelich. They beat the Angels because that's what they're supposed to do. And then the Astros. They take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox after dropping the first game. My God. Could have been a firework-filled episode. They bounce back. They take the next 2. Hunter Brown, is he figuring it out? And the A's take 2 out of 3 from the Royals? Royals a little bit on the struggle bus right now. 3-7 in their last 10. And that's what happened in the American Liga.
Bob Wood Jr. came to save them that last game as well. I do have the standings. You didn't even ask me for them, but that's the kind of guy that I am, Jake. And it's Friday, so of course we start in the West. Seattle, the Mariners, our Mariners. They love us in Seattle. 44-33. Quick math, 11 games over 500.
Stanford.
You would seem it looks like 10, but you got to add that 1, Jake, just so you know.
Okay, I see. Oh, it's the second integer? Wow.
8 games behind them are the Houston Astros, 35-40.
Your second place, Houston Astros.
Second
Let's
place.
drive that home.
The Texas Rangers. Hey, Wyatt Langford's been playing better lately.
Good.
801 OPS in June. 34-40. They're 8.5 games back. The Angels, 29-45. The Oakland A's, 28-49. Moving on to the East, your Yanks still in first place, barely hanging on. They got like their fingertips, like, and then it's just they're gonna fall. 51-20. Oh, you hate the Yankees. 51-26. Baltimore, a half game back. 49-25. The Red Sox, I want to talk about them a little bit. 40-35. I mean, they're 10 games back, but I believe 1 back of the wild card. Tampa Bay Rays, 36-39. Toronto, 35-39. And then we move to the creme de la creme, as I like to call it, the AL Central. Oh, God. The Guard Dogs, 46-26. Quick math, 20 games over 500. Just carry the 2. The Royals. Good math jokes, gets me. 42-34. They're 6 games back. As you mentioned, sliding a little bit. My Twins, can't really beat good teams. Are we calling Tampa a good team? I don't know. 41-34, 6.5 games back. Then the Tigers, who just recently were 500. Just recently they were.
Yeah.
34-40, and then the White Sox 20-56. If you look at the standings in the wild card, Kansas City and Minnesota have the first. No, Baltimore has number 1, then Kansas City, and then Minnesota, and then 1 game back of Minnesota for the 3rd wild card is Boston, and then Tampa, Toronto, 5 and 5.5 games back, respectively.
Incredible standings. Good math humor. That's why people listen.
I was actually okay in math, Jake. And then I hated it, but I was okay.
Real math?
Yeah.
Like probability, statistics?
Yeah. I was AP Calculus my senior year. I quit it the first day.
Respect. Yeah.
Because I'd already signed with USC. Yeah. I said, what am I doing here? This is insane math.
This can only mess that
It's
up.
insane. Yeah. Calculus
This could only ruin baseball.
Math. It doesn't make any sense.
Keep math out of baseball.
Yeah. Keep paper out of baseball. Jimmy O'Brien.
Jimmy and Fergie. Both Fergies. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, hey, maybe this will become a regular thing or maybe a little bit of a Friday thing, but you mentioned the Bo Sox. They are firmly in the mix, which nobody really had been.
I'm going to pose a question to you.
Okay.
Okay, American League.
Yeah.
I think we know who the top 2 teams are. I do. I think it's the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles.
I think you're right.
Okay. Give me number 3. We did this on Baseball Today. Me and Rosie had different answers, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't necessarily believe this yet, but I think that the Red Sox are in the conversation for it. Their season, by and large, statistically, is probably, well, I was going to say probably, definitely. That doesn't make any sense, though. You can't do both of those words back to back. Their statistics would say that they're the 3rd-best team in the AL. Now, they had a tough start where there were some injuries, but they're back.
Right. Full
roster, young guys, athletic team. We saw them steal 9 bases on the Yankees. You consistently bash their defense. I think it's better than you're saying. They're getting output from Tyler O'Neill, Rob Refsnyder, the young guys coming up and doing it. Their pitching staff has been great. The bullpen's been great. It is kind of a complete team. they continue on the path that they're on, they're going to make the playoffs. They're a scary team, and that happened kind of like under the radar and quickly.
I think, okay, let's do it. Carabas in my comments last night. Boston, we're back, baby. Yeah. Yankees stink, huh?
You guys are the ones saying that.
Yeah, we are.
Like, oh my gosh. But look at this. Connor Wong, 850 OPS
Show me
from
that
your
Wong.
catcher. Yeah, show me the Wong. 850 OPS from your catcher, okay? David Hamilton comes up, kind of like stabilizes the shortstop position. He's 26, 776 OPS. Rafael Devers doing his thing.
Sure.
912
Still
OPS.
Rafi Devers.
Okay. Jaron Duran, 813 OPS. Rafaela, the offense isn't really his forte, but he's playing. You said bad footwork in center field. I think he's playing a great center field.
He's an athlete.
Willie Abreu is on the IL right now, 829 OPS out there in right field. Tyler O'Neill, 896 OPS. Rob Restlander, 863 OPS. And these are all significant at-bats. These aren't 5-10 at-bats. They are doing it, man.
So I think the biggest thing I'd like to drive home for the Boston Red Sox, and this is going to lead to Cora at some point, because that's just a fun conversation.
Fifth in OPS, fourth in starters whip, sixth in relievers whip.
Trev, the Red Sox have gotten hot. We agree on that? We can finally agree on something?
Okay, yeah.
Who have they gotten hot against?
They play the same teams everybody else plays, but it's not like they're in some different freaking league.
You're going the wrong way.
All the good teams? Oh, yeah, they've beaten good teams, yeah.
Yankees, and then they just swept the Blue Jays. And Cora kind of laid it out for them. And dude, so we talk about what do managers actually mean. And we talk about the advanced stuff of baseball. You were talking about relievers and swing path and all that bullshit that we like half believe in, but we don't.
Okay.
You also have to play the game.
Yes.
Because guess what? If your sweeper plays perfectly for a guy's swing path, but you hang it in the middle of the plate, someone's going to bang it. He called out Duran before the season. And he's like, Jaron Duran, you need to be a guy and play every game for this team. Guess what Jaron Duran's done? He's played every game for this team.
Yeah.
He's a center fielder with crazy speed with an OPS in the 8s. He sets the table. Tyler O'Neill's been great. How long did we talk about every Cardinal needing a change of scenery? Let's keep him healthy and see what happens. The pitching, I don't know. Is
we don't
Andrew
know either.
Bailey pitching God?
I think so. He's the new Matt Blake.
Ooh, that hurt.
I'm just saying.
That shrunk my wiener.
Although, I will say this, Jake, because you're giving them credit for beating teams, good teams. They're 13 and 23 against teams over 500.
Yeah, but it's what have you done for me lately?
Lately, they've won some series. The May was tough for them.
Like the season's here.
Yeah.
You're talking a month till All-Star game, less. And then it's trade deadline season. And like you said, there's going to be a couple of these teams that come up against it. How easy could we have said, Red Sox just played the Phillies and the Yanks. Tough stretch. Two wins. That's all right. Figure it out. No, they handled their business, and they're David Hamilton giving big contributions. Emmanuel Valdez has been a lot better lately for them. So, it's too early to say third best team in the AL.
I still think it's the Guardians.
That's a little rude to what the Guardians have done this year.
They've done it.
And I've got some more Guard Dogs talk coming later.
Okay.
And even the Mariners, I don't know how we're measuring third best team, but who would you rather see in a playoff series? That Seattle rotation still is just and we're not even talking about who do they kick to the bullpen? Did the Mariners kick Bryce Miller to the bullpen in a 3-game set? So now I got to deal with that too.
I'll say this: Boston versus Seattle in a playoff matchup. Are you handicapping it 100? Seattle, that's your favorite? Are you sure? Do you know? The Red Sox have great starting pitching.
How about
as well.
this? Three-game series. I think DraftKings odds coin flip. Whoever's home field probably gets the tilt, and it would probably be the Mariners. If it's a 7-game set, I think you'd have the Mariners just minus 135, which for those who aren't deep in the sports gambling world, that's not crazy. That's slight favorite. But there's still a lot of ball left to play. That's where, let's pivot this to my Yankees.
Yeah.
And it's where I started the show before. The Red Sox have played 75 games. You're my math guy. How many games left for them? 75. Carry the 2.
That's a lot. 87.
62, 87.
Did I just do that right?
Yeah. Yeah. 87
You
plus
guys,
75.
that was on camera too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You nailed that.
I knew he was in AP calculus first day of
Yeah,
senior
for
year.
One day.
true.
I did it for
One
one
day.
day. And I said, I can't do it.
Hey, I'm leaving this class. Anyone want to fuck right now?
I went to an all guys school.
Hey, I'm leaving this class. Anyone fuck right now?
Earmuffs. You have to say earmuffs before you say stuff like that.
Happy Pride to all our friends in the baseball community.
Okay.
The Yankees.
Yeah, what's up?
Wins in the bank.
Yeah.
Great start.
Yeah.
Best record.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. We're being obnoxious Yankee fans a little bit.
Yeah, a
I
little
talked
bit.
about how we've been hurt in the past years. Whatever. Yankees also haven't been to a World Series since 2009. The New York Yankees
I know that.
that you give me shit for every time we see each other.
Yeah.
Yankees. We haven't been dancing in a long time.
It's like me in the warehouse.
Attending the dance, we haven't, which is crazy. So, when you have the Red Sox run all over you, which up until that point, they haven't really been a stolen base team, the Orioles add a little bit of the same. The infield has some serious question marks right now that there's more than half the season remaining. That every year, there's teams that have a good first half, a lesser second half. There's teams that have a bad first half. They have a great second half. I'm not saying the Yankees, the wheels are going to fall off and they're going to miss the dance. They are the top 2 teams in the American League. I don't think you can argue that.
Yes.
But
Where are you
man,
going with this?
They're having some flaws exposed right now.
Well, yes.
And I guess, okay, tying this all together with the National League, and maybe I'm aiming too big, but like Luis Gil has been an incredible breakout for the Yankees.
Sure.
He was a Cy Young candidate. He has Orioles get to him.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been as sharp lately. So is that a kid off of double Tommy John?
Yeah, he's never thrown
Getting
as many
innings for the first time? Is it the league seeing him for the second time? Like, those stories of this season haven't been told yet. Now, where things get very Yankees is Garrett Cole just came back. So, like, there's other parts of the story to be written. But I don't know, man. You wrung my ears a couple episodes ago when you said the Orioles like where they're at right now.
Yeah.
And they sure do, because they haven't lost a series in the AL East since they set an MLB record. I think it's 22 series.
Yes. I don't know where you're trying to go with this. Orioles, very good team. And they continue to prove that in many different ways. I have the OPS for runners in scoring position. They're actually 7th in that.
Okay.
With an 8.0. No, that's I have batting average up. Excuse me. With OPS, they are 6th with an 8.06 OPS. The usual suspects, the top teams, or the ones that are in the playoff positions, are ahead of them. Guardians, 858. Yankees, 848, and then the Royals, 3rd in OPS. That's how they're surviving and still being in the race. Because you got to score the runs, Jake. That's analytics that we do. But the Orioles are probably, I would say, the scariest team in baseball because of, number one, the roster and the length of their lineup and their ability seemingly to find pitching, even though that's going to be their biggest issue going forward, is they've dealt with a lot of starting pitching injuries. They're going to have to get rid of some of that Norfolk super team.
Those Tides?
They're going
Break
to.
up the Tides?
And people are like, well, that's how they got to where they're at, Trev, is their prospects. It's like, okay, how many do you need?
Right.
The Cubs have 9 top 100 prospects. Get rid of some of them.
Yeah.
And get your major league team better. The Orioles are going to have to give away some of those guys, and you're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Do you know the ceiling for Connor Norby?
Dude, I don't care.
Kate Povich looks like Max Fried.
The ceiling for some of these guys is the player that you're going to trade for that's proven it at the major league level. They're not all Fernando Tatis Juniors, man.
No.
So, like, they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to address some stuff with their rotation, I think. I mean, you never know. Like, all of a sudden, Albert Suarez shows up on your doorstep. Yeah. So, I don't know where we're at, man. The Orioles are a damn good team. And Gunnar Henderson owns Yankee Stadium.
A little bit. He's pretty good.
does.
He owns a lot of buildings.
You're right.
To be fair.
You're right.
The Yankees have a losing record in division. That's a little bit of a yellow flag right now. And they're in a grinder of a schedule where, so this is one of the Yankees' personal gripes is that they're still a little too businesslike.
Okay.
Like, we're playing a game.
Yeah.
You got to go out there, win, feel it. Sure, there's going to be a couple days a year. The bullpen's fried. Like, it's a getaway day. I get it. It's a grind of a season. Game 2, they did not play their best hand. They lose it in extra innings. They've basically already lost the season series to the Orioles.
Yeah, so if it comes down to it, it comes down to it.
And there's still some weird messaging that I think that sends through the season. And the Yankees, they just lost to the Red Sox. They just lost to the Orioles. They have the Braves coming up this weekend. Like, this was kind of supposed to be the Yankees' test. They lost to the Dodgers. So, okay. Again, like, it turns into a little of what have you done lately, especially as we approach the trade deadline.
Okay.
Yankees have Rizzo just got hurt and he was awful. DJ LeMahieu has just come back and he has not been good. Gleyber Torres has been enigmatic his entire Yankee experience, and now neither of our catchers can throw. So that's where
That's what needs to be addressed. If teams can just take all of the extra bases against you, I mean, that's not a winning brand of baseball. That's actually insane what's been going on, and I feel for our guy Trevi, but they got to figure that out.
And that's Trevi's hit this year. He's got a platinum glove, so
he does have a platinum glove. I keep
Platty.
seeing that. I'm like, is that platinum or is the gold
chest.
reflecting weird?
Platty on the chest, and
Sheesh.
teams are just running wild.
Let's get rid of the Yankees. Okay. Mariners, Guardians. One thing that stood out to me, obviously, two good teams. We know about the pitching for the Mariners. That has been kind of, if there is an Achilles heel for the Guardians, is that the starting pitching hasn't been very good. They've had some injuries, obviously, but the bullpen is by far the best in baseball. And in this series, in 3 games, they gave up 1 run. Tristan McKenzie gives up 4 earned runs. They lose that game. Well, excuse me, I just totally messed that up. In the first game, they gave up some runs, but they cover a bunch of innings. 2 1/3 inning pitch for Tristan McKenzie. After that, they don't give up an earned run the next 2 games. They are, what Chris Rose will talk to me about the Guardians is that their bullpen is being taxed. They've thrown way too many innings, and he doesn't think they can hold on. They need to go get some sort of starting pitcher. Will they do that? They're not a team that really goes out and makes those kinds of trades, but yes, Jake?
Is there, and everyone please comment below, are there fan bases that are saying their bullpen isn't getting overused?
Probably the Mariners.
Okay.
I would guess.
I'm interested to find out because, like,
probably the Mariners, probably the Pirates.
Man, Holderman and Bednar.
Yeah, like they're the teams with the deep, good starting pitching staffs. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game.
Okay.
So that's what they're going to have to address. Steven Kwan continues to be a guy. Do you know what he's hitting on the year?
Give me some numbers.
396, Jake. He's got a 457 OBP. He's 1 dotting, and his OPS plus is 191. He's going off. And it's all sorts of stuff. I mean, he can drive the ball if he needs to. He can take the shooter in the 6 hole.
What's the date today?
It is June 21st.
Since May 31st.
Yes.
So we'll call that 22 days or 21 days. How do you do that?
21.
22. Steven Kwan has been hitting 500.
Yeah. It's like him and Carlos Correa are the best hitters in the world right now. How about that?
The Centrals are back, baby.
I'm telling you, the AL Central, the creme de la creme, everyone's talking about it. Go Guards. Taking 2 out of 3 from the Mariners. I mean, that's a litmus test, a series.
That's what we're talking about. Hey, there's a lot of ball. I think I've found a way that we can slightly cover everything.
Twins Royce Lewis is a god.
Yeah, I'm all in on Royce.
Okay,
you've got me.
And if you didn't see the Jose Siri throw, it's hilarious. He cuts in front of, I believe, Richie Palacios, our
Biebs,
friend.
have you seen it?
I have not.
Go look. It's worth looking up.
He literally says, like, get out of the way, into right field, cuts him off, and hammers a throw. And Royce Lewis isn't slow.
No.
And just hammers him.
If someone did this in a softball league, you'd be like, hey, guy. Like, don't be an asshole. Here. Yeah. He cuts off another major leaguer with his body momentum going the wrong way and throws a dart perfectly to get Royce Lewis. Worth looking up at home today. Here's where I want to go, Trev. The Red Sox have inserted themselves in the mix. 5-game win streak, really good stretch. They're a game out of the wild card.
Yes.
Lorenzo D'Amalia's Red Sox are in the mix as he shows up to the warehouse. The kids are getting here.
It's
happening.
I hate it.
Of the of the other teams.
Okay.
So it's a two-part question.
Hit me.
Kansas City or Minnesota would have to fall off. So an unfair question to you a little bit.
Okay.
But of those two teams, who do you think has more fall-off potential? Because Kansas City has kind of been great. They've been struggling a little bit. And I don't know, with their track record, I think it's easy to be like, well, it could go the other direction. The Twins have the track record. They've just gotten Royce back and Correa's been killing it. But they still have some, like you said, they struggle with the good teams, but that might be fine this year.
They've very much struggled. I believe it's the Orioles, the Yankees, and the Guardians they're 0-13 against.
That's not great.
Not great. I think they're pretty even as far as like can fall off.
Right.
Right now, I guess it's a little unfair to do the question because Minnesota's offense has really come alive. Carlos Correa is going. Carlos Santana is going. Jose Miranda's going. Like right now, I believe they're like 6th in the big leagues in OPS. So if we're talking like how things are right now, I think their lineup can be a little longer, but like also it's not like a great lineup. Right. Royce Lewis is a game changer. I mean, you take him and Bobby Witt and they cancel each other out. Oof. And then you're talking about the rest of the lineup. Like I think I'll take the Twins, but I don't think it's that far off. And starting pitching is kind of like the same thing to me. Like Pablo Lopez has not looked great this year. He hasn't been able to locate the way he wants to locate. Getting too much in the zone. There are times where he's in the zone and then times where he's walking people. It's interesting. Joe Ryan's been really good, but I think these teams are pretty similar. Like I honestly can't lean. You know, I want to lean Twins here, but they both have their faults. They both have like their strengths.
I guess so. The other part,
I'd take Minnesota's bullpen. So I guess I think I'll take Minnesota slightly because of the bullpen.
Hey, gun to my head, I think I just have to go recent history, and I would end up with Minnesota. And I do believe in Correa's resurgence and Royce Lewis. Like I think that changes the whole team.
He's different.
Where Kansas City, maybe they've played a little over their skis. So again, there's no right answer there. But I guess the question is, if those teams come back down to earth a little bit,
okay.
Tampa, so everyone wants to kill Toronto. Break it up, trade them. They're a half game better than Houston's been this year. Just a reminder for the people right now. The Detroit Tigers that we talked a lot about being in the mix, they're a half game back of Houston. So the ALs, I don't know if it's a conundrum, but these 4 teams have a month to get hot and get in the mix. I think everyone's out on Toronto right now, if we're being honest. It's hard to be in on them.
Yeah.
Detroit, kind of hard to be in on them. This feels like the same Detroit dance we've done for the past couple years. So the two teams...
Houston Astros are 25-21 since the beginning of May.
Houston's playing a better brand, and the schedule's eased up for them a little bit.
Okay.
Tampa has a lot of bodies back. Like, Lowe and Lau are back for them. Yandy and Randy got off to as bad starts as possible. So I guess if it's Tampa or Houston getting back in the mix.
I'm gonna lean Houston.
I'm
gonna lean Houston.
I think that's
they've
the
dealt
right
with their
answer.
injuries too, and they have some decisions to be made. But I mean, they're kind of like just slowly creeping up.
They've got a big series, Houston, Baltimore.
So they'd have to take. This is interesting. So they'd have to take out Minnesota or Kansas City. Oh man,
that's what I'm saying. Like the AL in theory has been set, but baseball doesn't work like this. Like, I think in our heads, like this time last year, the Yankees were firmly in the playoffs. Their season fell apart. One or two of these teams is going to come down to earth. And, like, I don't know. It was the first time when I looked at those Twins-Rays box scores and I saw what Siri did and I saw the guys who did it. It was my first head tilt in a little bit that I've been out on the Rays this year. Like, they just haven't passed the sniff test at all. It was the first time I was like, we could look up in a month and see that the Rays went 20-8.
Well, you know it. They had to get better. Like,
Yes.
They're going to have a spurt of baseball that was better. You know, they were winning series, and some of the guys got hot, but is it too little, too late?
That's what we'll find out.
We have plenty of time, though.
They're another team that the deadline, they're very willing to move bodies where other teams won't be. And then the Houston question that's just been looming over the season since mid-April.
Hey, shout out to the Mets, 7 games in a row.
Seriously.
Like, kind of got themselves back into it.
Yes.
They lose the last game to Texas, but I got to give snaps to them a little bit right there.
Yeah,
right? Because
the Mets have been electric, dude.
Yeah.
But Jolly was on last episode, so I think we're okay.
Brewers do their thing out in Anaheim. Ryan Braun in the booth. Did you see the Sal Frelick catch?
Really? Robbery?
Robbery.
Yes.
Would have tied the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Pretty awesome out there.
That's just what the Brewers do. I've got a little more Brewers coming up.
Okay.
That I think we
Did
can.
we touch enough?
I think we touched enough, and I think we're going to touch more. Can we get to standout performances?
What did you call them?
Standout performances. They are brought to you by BetterHelp, and this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. What's something that you need to get off your chest? We all carry around different stressors, big and small. You keep them bottled up, they will affect you negatively. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. And this is entirely online, people, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with your licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime, no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/TalkinBaseball. Name of the show. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TalkinBaseball. There's a link in the description. Trev?
I am going to go with my guy. He went to Garibaldi SS in Maple Ridge, British Columbia. I think that's what BC is. So on brand.
Wow.
For Canada to have maple. I guess that's the same
What's the name of the school?
Garibaldi.
Oh, Garibaldi Secondary School, eh?
Is that what it is?
I think
Good
so.
for you. I guess Maple Ridge is kind of like, Thousand Oaks.
Oh.
In California, there's a lot of oak trees in California, so I'm not going to clown on them because there's a lot of maple trees in Canada.
This is why people come here.
You can just tap into a maple tree and get syrup.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's interesting to me.
pretty
I
sick.
don't believe that. That's simulation.
I'm
shit.
not a
That's
snob.
like a video game, right?
I'm not a snob in anything in life. A little bit of a syrup snob.
Oh yeah, you have to get
A little bit of a
100%
syrup
maple.
snob. Growing
Gotta
up
be
in the
the real
Northeast,
stuff.
bro, when you find out that's all Vermont has, you're like, okay.
Don't you think
We
that
did a
seems-
field trip.
That seems silly that you can just tap into a tree and this sugary goodness comes out. That's ridiculous.
It's insane.
This is a simulation.
And it's so much better than if you haven't had real syrup, go to Amazon and Google real Vermont syrup. It's a different product.
It's a little-
Come in a
it's
glass
little
product, probably
expensive, but-
shaped like a leaf.
It costs a little more than you'd like fancy syrup to
Yeah,
cost.
but you don't want to put those. Anyways,
We'll
Tyler
put it
O'Neill.
back.
Tyler O'Neill.
Oh!
Big boy. He's freaking roped up. Momentous to the max. My
Momentous
libido
Jakes,
has
I'm
been
calling.
incredible since I've been on Momentous. Never was really bad, but it's improved. He went 2 for 4. Excuse me, with 2 homers. 2 runs driven in, 2 runs scored. So he had the twofer on Monday, and he's been a big part of why the Red Sox, hung on. 500 ball club for most of the season. Now doing their thing. 353 OBP, 543 slug for the 896 OPS in the year, 146 OPS plus. He already has 15 homers, Jake. Only 26 runs driven in. That caught my eye a little bit. That's a lot of solo homers. And what else you doing, bro? 1 stolen base in the year. But Tyler O'Neill, I'm happy for him. Do you know who drafted him initially?
Ooh, okay. Tyler O'Neill. He's on the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's go Twins.
Seattle Mariners in the 3rd round. You could use a Tyler O'Neill.
Could. Be a great fit on that team.
Snaps for him. He looks great, man. We're happy. Worst dresser in the league, I think. We established that. Like
he was. I'd love an update.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any new Tyler O'Neill picks?
Send us some Tyler O'Neill outfit picks if you can. But he's my standout performance today.
Traded for?
Ooh, to the Cardinals?
Gene Segura.
Hold on.
By the Mariners to the Cardinals.
Kyle Gibson.
No idea.
Marco Gonzalez.
Okay.
Snapping him.
Okay.
Trev, there are so many ways to go with this.
Yes.
God, Nick Lodolo's on a win streak. Bybee is just punching tickets.
That was a great start. He looked nasty for the Guardians.
Freddie Fermin, 2 home runs. He's a ball player. They got a couple catchers in KC.
Freddie Fermin and Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, 5 walks for Freddie in one of those Coors games. I'm not going to them. I'm going to Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy put up a 4 for 4 with 2 homers. Pretty good day at the office. He got hit in his back arm by a ball. And there's a doctor term for like a big bruise, like a hematoma?
Yeah.
Hemoglobe?
I think you just crushed it.
Hematoma?
One of those two.
And he was like, I've had hematomas before. I'm okay. And it's like, okay, Sean Murphy, like that a lot. For the Braves, we've talked about they lost Ronald Acuna Jr. Austin Riley and Matt Olson have been struggling. Sean Murphy was out for a while, and we didn't talk about it too much because they do happen to have Travis d'Arnaud, who played great. Sean Murphy 9-dotted for a chunk of the season last year.
Yes, he did.
Like, he has an argument for best catcher in the game. Dude, we did a best catcher in the game talk recently, and I don't think we mentioned Sean Murphy.
Ooh.
Like, didn't we do like a whole Adley, like who's
William
the best catcher right now? William
Adley.
Contreras. Sean Murphy. Like, he has a hand on the throne.
Yes.
The Braves have been looking for some good sauce. They've got it going. Austin Riley's hitting. Sean Murphy is back. There's going to be a whole nother Braves portion of this season that's coming, and I think Sean Murphy's going to be a chunk of that. So,
okay. I like that. A lot of other people you can mention. James Paxton with a good start.
Frankie Lindor, Brandon Nimmo.
Yeah, a lot of guys. Schwarber in June is fucking...
What's that about?
It's his month. He just knows it. He just knows it.
No, who else? Brian Reynolds, big June guy.
Okay.
Sure.
Never can get a read on Brian Reynolds. Like, what kind of guy are you?
Can.
What kind of guy are you,
Nobody
Brian?
can.
I didn't see him out there. He called the games. Didn't really see him out there.
He's a Vandy guy.
So you know him.
I think he just likes playing ball.
Does he?
Maybe he does. Trev, can we do the best segment of the show?
Dirt Nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
I'll be honest with the people. I took my first taste of the devil's lettuce last night. For a long time. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks. But K-Mac.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It was good. It was good. Just a little one. Just a tiny bit. I didn't even inhale. Didn't do it. Okay. Shohei Ohtani for the series. 8 for 18. That's a 444 average. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. 3 doubles, 2 homers, 7 runs driven in. This was Ohtani's first 4 games taking over as the Dodgers' leadoff hitter because Mookie fractured his hand. You toe the mound. First guy you see. The greatest player that's ever lived.
Okay, so there's a 6'5" Japanese kangaroo that pitches better than me.
Yes.
Starting the game.
And he doesn't have a leg lift, so his eyes are level the entire time, and he's going to see everything I throw. Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah.
Just mentioned, you should have looked at the sheet. 4 for 12, double, 3 homers in that series. Again, 3 runs driven. We got to figure that out.
Stop.
Boston, get on board. Get on base for your guy, fucking Tyler O'Neill. How about Jesus Sanchez? It's Jesus.
Yeah.
5 for 13, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 runs driven in for the 1.4 in the series against St. Louis. They won 2 of 3.
Series win, yeah.
For the week,
Yeah.
New York Mets outfielder Brandon Nimmo. Seems like a good guy.
Historically underrated.
Seems like a nice guy. 12 for 25 in the week. 2 doubles, 2 homers, 8 runs driven in, 9 runs scored. He also got hit by a pitch. for the 1.3. Alec Boehm has been good all season long. 13 for 26. Quick math, go.
4.
13 for 26.
I still,
500.
oh, I still haven't gotten to the numbers. I was looking up Brandon Nimmo's
got the
stats.
12.
3 doubles, 1 homer, 8 runs driven in, though. He also stole a base for the 1.2. And then my guy, Yohan Duran, mentioned Minnesota Twins bullpen. He's been like up and down a lot. Like as far as like Rocco's getting him hot and then sitting him down, whatever.
I don't like that.
He doesn't care though.
Okay.
He says, I'll pitch every freaking day. 4 games. He went 2-0. He had 1 save, 4 1/3 innings pitched. No hits, no runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. After allowing 3 earned runs to the Pirates on June 8th, Duran has thrown 6 1/3 hitless innings since. Doesn't strike out as many people as you'd think.
Okay.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
It is very interesting. For the 2 weeks, people, is this a list you want to be on?
Need it.
It is.
Need it.
And we got some names here that aren't in my book. Freddie Freeman, know him?
Yes.
Yes. 14 for 40. Charlie's dead.
Yeah.
14 for 42. That's 333. That's light work for Freddie. 3 doubles, 2 homers, 6 runs driven in. What? That's not a great 2 weeks for Freddie.
He's had better.
He's had better. I think we put him on because he reached base in all 6 plate appearances for the first time in his career.
It's a good day.
He had 5 walks and a single. He had 11 walks over that time period as well. 5 of them, again, being in 1 game. Here's the guys that aren't necessarily in my book, although I'm a little bit familiar with this guy because I watched some highlights of him. Chicago White Sox starting pitcher Jonathan Cannon.
Yeah.
3 games. He started 2 of them. Interesting. He has a save, but he also has 18 2/3 innings pitched in those 3 games, 14 hits, only 1 earned run, though, and 15 Ks to 2 walks. These appearances are the first 3 appearances for Cannon since being recalled for the minors on June 7th, before he last pitched in the majors on April 27th. The White Sox are... What's going on? Yeah. When are they going to start trading these pieces off? That's what I want to know, because I want some of them. I don't know if you're going to trade in division, but whatever. And then reliever, Zach Kelly for the Red Sox. Like, they need any more help. 6 games, 1-0, 7 2/3 innings pitched, no hits, only 1 earned run, 3 walks, 11 Ks for the .39 whip. Congratulations, Zach Kelly, on your nomination to in Fuego.
Red Sox creator reliever Zach Kelly. Circling back on Nimmo, and that's why I didn't get that 500 batting average. Brandon Nimmo, you look at the stats and you're like, this is below Brandon Nimmo. 240, 355, a 766 OPS. He's a lifetime 822 OPS guy. He's getting hot, so those numbers are coming.
Okay.
He's a career 130 OPS plus.
Yum.
125 OPS plus this year. Offense has been down around.
It's down. It's down.
Oh, God.
All over the place. It's down.
I feel like that hasn't been talked about a lot.
We've mentioned it a few times.
On the broadcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
We get a lot of, I mean, I'll give it to you right now. So I got the split up here. No split. So the Dodgers lead all of baseball with a 781 OPS. And then it kind of just drops off after that. Orioles 768, Yankees 765, then drops even more off there. It's down. A top 10 team has a 725 OPS right now.
Yeah, and that was like league average. So, yeah, something to track as the season goes on. Another thing to track is the worst part of our show, the IL. Couple big names. I mentioned Rizzo. He's supposedly out for like 8 weeks or so. Let's see what happens there. Justin Verlander and Walker Buehler, the old bull and the young calf. They both go down. Mike Tauchman, the Palatine Pounder. And the big one on here, Bo Bichette, who I know we've been daydreaming some different...
Is it calves? Calves?
Different spots for him.
He doesn't have big calves.
Oh, boy. His words, not mine, man. Some relievers on there. Who's back? Noah's an interesting one. I want to see the reaction this gets from BBD. Brandon Drury back for the Los Angeles Angels.
Okay.
First base, second base, third base.
Former and then maybe future Yankee?
It's interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting. He had a big year last year. Ty France. Chris Martin, a little bit of a Coldplay for Boston. Garrett Cole. Speaking of, how about this? We got the old bull and the young calf going to the IL, Verlander and Bueller. Garrett Cole and Bobby Miller are back.
Those two guys meet in an alley.
Oh.
What happens?
I think it's like the stepbrothers, they start fighting, and then there's like
End
a
up
kiss. Like just a respect for each other.
Bobby Miller, sneaky hot boy. I need to get my hot boy list back. I keep saying
really
that.
do.
I need to do it.
People are talking.
Maybe we'll do it here.
And people are also talking about our Dan Patrick partnership. John Boy Media and iHeart Podcast have teamed up two of your favorite John Boy Media shows, the Wake and Jake, me and BBD, talking sports, some Foolish Bailey hopping on there, Jolly. Usually 2 Trev eps a year. We gotta do our catch up. And Jimmy's Three Things have joined iHeart Podcast and Dan Patrick Show family. You could still find them where you've been finding them. But basically, friends are friends are friends. So go check out Dan Patrick and everything they're doing over there. And thank you guys for supporting us, because that helped create this partnership. And it's been very beneficial so far. So thank you, Dan, per usual. Can we start the weekend?
Where is she at?
Where's she at?
Award!
I haven't seen her yet. Otherwise, I'd make a scene. But
Kelsey ate. She ordered. Okay, this is a little Kelsey story.
okay,
I called it the Jersey Shore.
sure.
We were in Jersey and there was like the water.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was.
I'll tell you who
technically Jersey
does
Shore.
not like that. Jersey Shore people.
Okay. Well, whatever. It was a Jersey Shore, not the Jersey Shore. She saw the lobster, market price, obviously, and she's like, "I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna get the lobster." I took care of dinner. Don't worry. But she goes, "Do you know how to like open a lobster up?" I said, "I think they'll probably do it for you."
Yeah, lobster
But
roll.
but the girl who was our waitress, second day on the job, tough gig for her. We had a big group. She was great. It looked like a whole lobster on the menu, and she said, "Yeah, that's how it comes." So then Kelsey spent the next 15 minutes not talking to anybody, on her phone looking up YouTube videos on how to crack a lobster.
That makes
And she psyched herself out, like, "I can't do this. It's a bad order." It came out, the whole thing was like cracked open for her.
Yeah.
And she crushed an entire lobster. So
We love that for her.
yeah, happy. My award.
What's your award again?
No gimmicks with my award
Okay,
today. I think
good.
the show stealer, the show stopper award. You mentioned the game at Rickwood last night between the Giants and the Cardinals, and the pageantry was amazing. Obviously honoring Willie Mays was cool and well deserved. And there were so many guys that knew him well there. Barry Bonds, I thought, was really good on like all the stuff that
The
he
boys
was
were
on.
bopping.
Like, I'm not saying he's better than A-Rod and the rest of the folks, but he's better than A-Rod and the best of the folks. Like and the rest of the folks, he was awesome. It was awesome listening to him talk. Okay, to get that out of the way. Before the game, they invited, I believe, there's like 140 still living players from the Negro Leagues. They invited all of them. I think 60 or 70 ended up coming to the game. So they were there. I thought that was really cool. And then they had a first pitch. And this one caught my eye a little bit. Bill Greason,
Yeah.
99 years old, walks out there. This is a guy who served in World War II and in the Battle of Iwo Jima. Go read about that battle. Not fun at all. Pitched in the Negro Leagues for the Birmingham Black Barons. He won a game in the World Series, Game 3. Then he pitched for the Cardinals. He was teammates with Willie Mays on that Black Barons team when Willie was a young guy, 17. So he was kind of Willie's mentor, had some really kind words to talk about Willie, about his determination and how he treated people, and that's kind of Willie's forte. The catch. Everybody knows the catch. The statistics, 150 career WAR, the homers, everything. But people always talk about how great of a person Willie Mays was, and that's what makes a lasting impact. Anyways, Bill Greason, talking about that. He also pitched for the Cardinals, then after was a pastor for 50 years. Yeah. So this guy's like a stud. And I know, like, we always talk about Ted Williams went and served and came back and won the MVP. Like, there are more stories of that, and I think that's what's cool about us integrating the Negro League stats, is we're getting more and more of these stories. We're implementing it more and more into the history of Major League Baseball, which I think is cool. So we're getting guys like Bill Greason out there. By the way, 99 years old. Doesn't look it.
No.
Like, need your skincare routine.
Yeah.
Like, need that. Because I'm 38 now. I'm starting to think about my mortality all the time. And it's getting to me a little bit. So, Bill, like, shout out. You looked awesome. The first pitch, pretty good. Like, he doesn't have the zip on the fastball anymore.
Same.
But the arm action was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was really cool. I thought the whole game was awesome. But I wanted to highlight Bill Greason because, I mean, it's a name that I didn't know.
Right.
But we're getting more and more of these stories.
Yeah.
We're finding more and more out. They're becoming more and more a part of Major League Baseball history. So I wanted to give him a shout out. So the showstopper, Bill Greason Award.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I think we've been tough on, because I think it's Fox that they just roll out kind of the biggest names. Like, it's Big Hurt.
Yeah.
Like, when they do their playoff stuff, it's Big Hurt, Rod, Jeets now.
Yes.
And we've been kind of tough because we're like, hey, give us a little more analysis. Like, instead of, I don't know, they're trying to do the knockoff TNT thing, and
They're
sometimes
not
it's
funny
not
enough
great.
to do that.
But dude, when they had the full desk and Bonds was
good.
What'd you do to Satchel Paige? What did he say? Gone?
Yeah, he said.
Or deep? Gone?
Gone.
He was just like, yeah. I mean, what?
And then he backed.
You think he's got something for me?
And then he's like, "Oh, you have to be confident." He kind of like backtrack,
Yeah.
but he's like, "No, I would absolutely like. Have you seen what I did?"
Yeah, throw that 88 up here.
No, Satchel Paige threw a little harder than that.
And then A-Rod always gets
a
a weird laugh out of me. But
Same question was posed to Griffey. What'd he say? He would have bunted. Hashtag bunt sometimes.
Not middle-aged Griffey.
That's what he said.
I'm not.
Who am I to tell Ken Griffey what he would and would have done?
True.
He said it.
It was cool seeing Griffey. It was cool seeing all those guys. Great job, Trev.
Thanks.
I'll be taking a slightly different angle.
You're gonna goof it up?
Not fully, but it's a topic that's been discussed, but I want to go into it just a little more. Okay. I'm going for the Love Yourself or Sorry award.
All right.
I'll let your imagination run for a little bit, but those are two songs by Justin Bieber.
Okay.
They were the 1 and 2 songs of 2016.
He had both of them.
Love Yourself. Is it too late now to say sorry?
Oh, love that song.
You can go and love yourself.
Love that song.
Top 2 songs of 2016. Yeah.
Don't sing because we'll get in trouble.
Yeah. Know what else happened in 2016?
Oh, man, I had a tough year.
It was the last time a Central team has been to the World Series.
Oh,
and it was 2 Central teams. It was the Guard Dogs and the Cubbies.
And before that, 14 and 15, they were also represented.
But 2016, it's 2024 now.
Yeah.
We've got a couple Central teams that have been balling.
Okay.
Milwaukee.
Yes.
They've been killing it. And the team that kind of sparked this conversation for me was Cleveland, because even you brought it up. Like, they're getting no respect. All season. Chris Rose isn't giving them respect.
No, he's worried about the pitching. He's worried about it. He's right. 23rd in whip. 25th in walks per 9.
Josh Naylor could have got a standout performance. 2 homers.
He's a stud, yeah.
Go watch what he's doing this year. Dude, they've had guys between Will Brennan and Tyler Freeman. They've been getting contributions.
Yes.
That this year is kind of the last straw, Trev.
Okay.
One of the Central teams needs to go dancing. Like, Jimmy's been tough on the Central. I've been tough on the Central. It's kind of go time, man.
Be tough on the Central.
It's kind of go time. I got to see something. Because also, your Twins and the Royals, that wild card conversation, both teams against teams over 500 have been bunts.
Okay.
So what are you teams? There's been a lot of talk about like realignment and adding more teams. So here's where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm in on the Central this year. One more year. You got me.
Okay.
I'm in. Okay. If one of the wild card teams figure it out, I'm in on the 2 division leaders. I'm in. I'm either going to love myself or I'm going to be sorry. But I need to see something from them this year, man. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yankees,
the payrolls aren't close.
And 14 against teams over 500. Okay. So what do you want me to say here? Because Cleveland
I just need it, bro.
is 17-9 against teams over 500.
I'm gonna spend a lot of time this year talking about the NL Central. I like the Reds. I like the Pirates. The Cubs. Trade some of those top prospects.
You're not going to talk about the NL Central.
Dude, the NL Central is the whole NL wildcard race. The Cardinals are in the dance right now.
The whole NL is the NL wildcard race.
The AL has 3 teams currently in the playoff from the AL Central. There's a lot of Central talk this year.
Okay, so you want a Central team to win the World Series.
I need a Central team to go to the dance.
Okay. Who do you want?
It's been 9 years.
Yankees versus who? Who do you want? Brewers. You don't want that.
No, I'd be fine with that.
Okay. I agree. I don't know. Great award.
Thank you. There's a lot of artistry that went into that.
I like where you went with it. I agree that, a lot of times, as of late, we've been talking about the Central Division as a weaker division.
This is the year for me.
Okay.
They got to show me something.
We're at like a crux in the road in Major League Baseball where I think we went so far down the analytical train, and homers are good. Slug is good. Still is. They're still good.
Still is.
But there's other ways to play ball. We're seeing some of these teams take advantage. It's always a zig and a zag.
Yeah.
In Major League Baseball. It's just how it goes. I would love to see a team built of slug go up against a team that can run and play defense. I would love that.
Phillies Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Yes.
Saw a little bit.
Yes.
Let's see a little more. Trevor Plouffe, BBD, thank you to everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Big weekend of ball. Always is. And it's like a baseball summer. NBA's done.
Jake sucks.
NHL's still kind of going. Your Oilers are fighting.
I think tonight, right? Big game tonight.
Oh, wow. We got a lot of hockey people here. Huh?
Pavla told me about it.
Feels like they'll be watching.
He said there was some girl that flashed her boobs, and they're.
Oh, yeah.
We'll catch you up.
It's a whole deal.
You guys gotta catch me up on that.
It's a whole deal. Shout out Edmonton.
The world is Edmonton.